Hi everyone, this is Grace, and today I'm going to be walking you through how I made this super cute, ugly Christmas sweater set. Now, I have wanted to make one of these for a very long time, but I've always been so intimidated by the number of textures and colors and designs because y'all know me, I want to go all out and make all the designs. So I was so excited when I discovered Eddie the Edible Printer by Primera. It's an edible printer. An edible printer. I mean, game changer for a set like this. So, we're going to be using white icing and only white icing for this entire set, and you cannot believe the variety we're going to get with 12 different designs. And honestly, it took a lot of self control to keep it just to 12 because there were so many different ones that I wanted to do, but we kept it to 12. So, first up, I'm just going to show you the base layer here. We are rocking a 2 consistency outline and flood. We're outlining with a soft peak piping consistency and flooding with a thin, extra thin flood. This is what I'd recommend doing for 2 reasons. Number one, obviously this design here, you need to make sure that you're getting a good seam at the sleeve arm area. And then secondly, I made a decent number of these, and chances are if you're using an edible printer, you're probably making a lot of cookies. So doing a 2 consistency like this is so much faster in my opinion. Yes, it takes a little bit more time up front, but it just is smooth sailing after you made the consistencies. I did color my icing with white. That is definitely recommended. And I will say second thing, I used a vanilla royal icing recipe, not my signature lemon juice, because the lemon juice does not play well with edible ink. So just keep that in mind. Now, for this first cookie, we're going to do this real time so I can show you how this works. I actually printed a test print on the tray first so that I could get the placement exactly correct for this one because this is the snowman and you want to make sure he's centered perfectly. I didn't do this really with any of the other, I don't think with any of the other designs because I could eye them well enough. This is also the only one that's going in sideways like this. You're going to see that the rest of the cookies are oriented 90 degrees. I don't know. You'll see. You'll see when we come up. In terms of dry time before you print, I went with a full 24 hours. Some people only wait a few hours. God bless them. I I was too nervous for that. I waited a full 24 hours until my icing was completely dry. It also breaks things up nicely because I just baked one day, outline and flood another day, and then I printed, and then same day I was able to do my final details after printing because the printing at the very beginning doesn't need very much time to dry. So this is the initial print. I mean, look, you've got a blue background, but the cookie is white. How amazing. So to finish all of these off, I did some piping designs for the collar and the cuffs, just to add a little extra element, and I had fun doing a lot of different ones. I could have just done the same one with all of them, but you know me, I like to add some variety, mix it up. So this is probably my favorite collar. I mean, come on, it's like dripping snow or ice, I don't know, but it's so cute. Oh my goodness. I just can't. Um, this here is another piping technique, just back and forth, consistent pressure, holding the bag 90 degrees. I'm using a medium peak piping consistency for the bottom. That top drip though, I did a soft peak, so just a sidebar. Now, we're going to speed this up a little bit and do 2 cookies at a time. So here we've got something a little unique. I did a reindeer and I did a Christmas tree. What is different about this is that I actually just got the image of the reindeer and the tree, and then I added the different colored backgrounds myself. So you can really do anything you want. Like that's what's so amazing about this is you can print whatever you want. What else can I say? So in terms of color matching is pretty challenging, and I'm not going to lie, it takes a lot of trial and error. I printed extra cookies just so I could practice on cookies, but I also had some extra icing that I had flooded onto acetate paper just so I could practice on that, because the color matching depends on your icing recipe. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of the dry time, when you can print, the color matching, it all depends on your icing recipe. So you can get advice from people about what settings they used, but it's really it's really about your own personal experience. Um, I will say that getting really dark saturated colors is definitely more challenging. So you can see the one on the left here, this really dark background versus the lighter backgrounds. I found those a lot easier to work with to color match. I played around with a bunch of different settings. I will say that they do have an initial training when you get your printer, which is super helpful. Someone on the other line walking you through how to set up your printer and all of that. And then there's a Facebook group too for all users, which I think is incredibly helpful. So I'm really loving this neon design here. We've got the classic Christmas tree lights on the right. Just playing around again with some different ways to finish off the cuff and the bottom. I wanted to do some more classic, really pretty designs. So these designs here, we've got a classic knit on the left and then some really delicate snowflakes. I mean, it really can do dark saturated pretty well, and it can do these really less intense designs really nicely too. I will say, this is my first time working with the Eddie. It is a learning curve and I still have so much to learn, but I am incredibly proud of this first set that I made. I mean, mind blown. So for this last one here, I went with a little kind of cheeky, colorful ho ho ho. I was just having fun picking my designs. For the most part, I did purchase images from the internet for official use, so I will link in the description where I got those images from. But you can certainly just do your own image. You can draw something yourself. That's what's so cool about this. And then the only colored icing I needed to use was for the cuff and the collar. And you don't have to even do color. You could just do white, whatever you want. I had so much fun. I got to do multiple different versions of like the gingerbread man and the candy canes, which was nice to play around and have more fun. And I didn't feel limited at all because of the ease of using this printer. So I hope y'all learned a thing or two, and I hope you might try the Eddie.